Alright guys, welcome to another edition of Custom NHL Builds. This is the series where I create EASHL player builds based on real NHLers. This time we're going to go with recent Blues acquisition, Torey Krug. The 5'9", 186-pound defender, once a staple on the back end for the Bruins, was acquired by the Blues in free agency in hopes that he would bring his offensive skills and power play efficiency to their blue line. Krug's size, which makes him one of the smallest defensemen in the league, is somewhat restrictive, allowing only for the puck-moving defenseman build. That's at least if you're going to use a defender build, which is fine to me. While he's been a good goal scorer in the past, he's also been somewhat inconsistent in that category. He's definitely capable of around 15 goals, but those seasons are sprinkled in with relatively low goal-scoring seasons as well. That being said, the puck mover build fits him well. He's a good skater who's great with the puck and can move the puck up the ice with his legs or with a good stretch pass. I went ahead here with the offensive-minded 1 trait for the first trait, since he's certainly more gifted as a distributor and point producer than he is at playing shutdown D. Then I went with heavy slapper 1 to improve the low shooting stats of the puck moving build, and then one-time wonder to improve that shot even more. He's already got pretty good base passing, puck control, and skating stats, so I didn't really feel the need to spend a slot to improve any of those areas of his game. Playing with this build online, I was immediately struck by the smoothness of this build's skating. This build's top speed is unreal for a defenseman, and the agility allows him to cut and weave up ice, break the puck out with his legs, and also break into the offensive zone against teams that like to trap. Combine this with a respectable deking rating, and this build is just an absolute blast. That skating allows him to apply quick pressure when playing defense, also hold tight gaps, and then prevent breakaways, even against some of the faster skaters. Which brings me to the defensive side of this build's game, which was my biggest concern when I made this build. So last year I built a Krug build, and I just absolutely hated it because easy interceptions would leak through him, the poke checks were garbage, and he basically had no physicality, making playing defense just incredibly hard. This year he still has trouble picking off passes, although the poke checks make this build much more viable as a defender, and you're still able to use your physicality when you build up some speed, although you're not really going to be knocking many people around. That being said, there are going to be situations where you can't cut around a guy or speed past him, and he's going to catch you with the hit. Like I said, this build is very small, and he does have a tendency, if he does get hit, to get injured or get knocked down and taken out of the play. That brings me to the shot, which I'd hardly describe it as deadly, although it hits the net pretty consistently, and it definitely isn't a hindrance when finishing up close. So while the shot, like I said, isn't deadly, once again, that skating, when you've got the puck at the blue line and you're stopped, his agility allows him to cut and start and stop and open up those shooting lanes to at least get the puck through and not have it get blocked. Overall, I'd say this is one of my favorite builds. His passing is excellent, but really for me, the feel of the skating is what made this build a go-to for me on defense. Since I made this build a while back, I've been using it constantly. It's honestly my go-to build right now when I play defense. He can break out the puck incredibly well, hop up and join the rush, shut down breakaways, and just straight up embarrass other players. So not only does it allow me to go for flashy, fancy goals that I like to go for so I can post those highlights on my channel, but he's actually just an all-around good build that I can use both casually and competitively in 6s or 3s. He really can do it all. So there's a reason so many pro players who play defense use the puck-moving D build in 21, and I think if you try this build out, you're going to see why. So anyway, guys, that's my Torey Krug build. I hope you like this one. Make sure to let me know what builds you'd like me to create in the future. Definitely be sure to check out my custom NHL builds playlist to see all the other players I've built so far. I read every comment, guys, so whether I respond or not, don't be shy. I'll have plenty more of these videos coming out this year, so stay tuned for those, and I'll see you in the next one.